Guys, Dan Javidi here. So I'm just doing a quick video. No editing, no fancy gimmicks, in a direct response to Boris Johnson's address and new measures affecting the country to do with the coronavirus. And some of you may have seen the video that I posted a couple of days, which was filmed probably about a week ago, really light-hearted, about various things that you could trade and couldn't trade should the crisis get worse. And this video isn't really about to instill panic or to make people feel comfortable or that this isn't serious, so just go about your everyday life. This is just a quick video really in response to the new measures that have been put in and my view on it, and actually really about Boris himself and my opinion on the job that he's doing with his professionals and his advisors. So let's start with that. So let's not forget that Boris came in as a prime minister that wasn't elected, and he went through some really turmoil times with lack of support within his own party, and obviously the other parties, the Labours and the Lib Dems, all doing their damnedest, but what they thought was right in respect of the Brexit. So we had a general election, and Boris went through that, and he came out on top of the other side, and he came back really fighting, and he put his plans and his promises in place to do with Brexit, which was one of the biggest things to happen definitely in my lifetime and for a generation with respect to this country. And whether we agree or not with leave or remain and where Brexit is or not, that's not important. What I think is important is that Boris came in, and personally he was attacked, he was degraded, some of his personal life was brought into the media, but his task at hand remained, and he delivered what he said he was going to do. He delivered Brexit. And even at the very last minute, there was huge amounts of hurdles going up by the opposition, by Corbyn and what have you, and it made it really difficult. And the amount of hurdles that were put in front of this guy, he overcame them to deliver what he said he was going to do. And when the dust sort of started to settle, and people acknowledged and respected and accepted that Brexit was happening, and it happened, we then have what is, in my view, an even bigger crisis, an even bigger challenge for the Prime Minister, which is this coronavirus. And I've seen so many posts on social media, some of them supporting, most of them quite negative about Boris or his advisors and how the country is reacting to this crisis. And I've got a young family. I've got two young children. Who go to school, and we're quite a social family. We like to go out. We like to eat out in restaurants. So the advice being given by the Prime Minister, and the change and the shift in the coronavirus and its growth, and then the advice and the reaction to it, I think we're not given enough credit actually here. There's things being done in the rest of the world or the rest of Europe which we're not following. We are actually, as a country and as a leadership team within the Prime Minister's team, sticking to what we believe is the right thing to save life, and that is the goal. The goal obviously isn't a priority to fix the economy. The goal is to save life, but the fallout of all of the life-saving advice and suggestions is to maintain the economy that I believe has been built very well by the Conservative Party, not without its flaws, of course. But I think some of the attitude and some of the attacks on social media are really unfair and unjust. These are unimaginable circumstances in a time where we've just gone through something massive. So the Prime Minister has just gone through a huge amount of turmoil to get Brexit done, And now he is dealing with this outbreak of this virus, which can only be compared to something in a movie. And it is really scary times. And hopefully it will all be put at bay, and within the next few weeks or months, we'll all look at this as something like bird flu, like swine flu. That was just something that happened in the past. But at this moment in time, there's a curve upwards, and there's an infection rate that is growing dramatically, and there is no denying that. You can't deny the facts. So everyone within their own right, and everyone wants to do right by their family, and they are. And some people are choosing not to go to certain events, or go out, or eat out, or train at the gym, or even go to school and work. And that's everyone's choice. You have the ability in this free country and society to do that. But you can make your own mind up. So if you don't agree with what Boris's suggestion, then don't do it. But I personally, I thought schools were going to close. Last week, I was talking to my wife, and we were having a discussion about how and what we would do should the schools close 4 weeks before Easter. And it didn't happen. And I was surprised when the schools weren't closed. But I thought the message that was delivered was actually quite a calculated and quite a collective way to prolong the damaging effects of what this virus will potentially do to our National Health Service and to our economy and to people's lives. And it might be the wrong decision, but it might be the best decision. We don't know. Hindsight is a great thing. We don't know at this moment in time. But I, for one, wouldn't like the job that the Prime Minister has got on his hands at the moment, as well as his advisors. And I am really grateful that we have a leader who is not prepared to just jump on the mass buses and follow every other country. The Prime Minister and the government are taking the advice from the professionals of this country, as well as the professionals from other countries who have gone through what we're potentially about to go through, and they are making the right decisions day by day that they believe is in the best interest for us all. And our free country, you and I, can decide to listen to that or decide to take our own actions, whether that be to carry on living your life and going out and doing what you please, which is nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. Or in some cases, you want to maybe stay at home and keep your family away from social gatherings, school, work, whatever it may be. So I'm doing this video. It's one take. There's going to be no editing. I'm literally just going to post it straight on YouTube, because I feel especially some of the sideliners. You see them at football matches. They tell everyone that they were a great football player in their heyday, but you've never heard of them. But they're telling the professionals how to do it and what to do, and they're really critical of what, every time they miss a goal, every time they let someone go by or miss a tackle, whatever it may be. And I see the same thing happening here. And you know what? It's really, really annoying. It's really frustrating, because whether you agree or disagree, I don't think anyone at this moment in time can be really critical of how the government is dealing with this huge, huge crisis. And I, for one, personally, am doing this video to support Boris Johnson and to support the government. I don't necessarily agree with everything that they're doing, but am I the right person to advise them? Do I have all of the knowledge that they currently have, and all of the facts to be making that call, or to be even voicing my opinion? No, I don't think I do. So I for one, am a big fan and a big supporter, and I'm very grateful and very thankful for what they're doing and how they're doing it. I just don't want anyone to get too bogged down in whether what is being done is right or wrong. Because if you believe that you should go on a different path to do what's right by you and your family, you should just do it. And no one will ever judge you for doing that. If you want to carry on going out and drinking in bars and going out to restaurants and things, or playing football on the weekends, going to the gym, that's entirely your choice. I'm still going to train in the gym in the mornings. I think it's fantastic how serious the people that go to the same gym that I go to are taking it so serious about wiping equipment down, washing their hands, and it's become a bit of a culture within the gym that I attend, and I think it's fantastic. I'm going to train tonight at Kung Fu with the same people that I trained with on Saturday. But am I going out to clubs and bars? No, I'm not going to do that. Am I going to unnecessary business meetings? No, I'm not doing that. So it's not a case of a contradiction here. I'm doing what I want to do and what I think is best. And I just think if everyone takes a step back and looks at themselves and their own set of circumstances, that what we need at this moment in time is positivity, and we need words of encouragement and support, and we need to help each other. And what is not going to help this set of circumstances is if everyone is criticising the government or giving their 2 pennies worth on what should do and how to do it, and this should be done. It's just not going to help. We need to be supportive. We need to be positive. And if anything that can be done locally on a smaller scale to help other individuals can be done, it should be done. So my grandparents, they don't live too far away from me. If I can do anything to support them, to aid them in not having to go out, then I absolutely will. And if I can do anything to help anyone else locally, then of course I will do that. And hopefully this video, whether you're still watching or whether you've clicked straight off, it's up to you. I don't care. But I wanted to do a video to really just hit home the message that this set of circumstances is something that I've personally never been through, and a lot of people my age, younger, older, won't have been through it. And a lot of us are not prepared. Most of us aren't prepared, and a lot of us don't know what the right thing to do is. All you can do is do what's right for you and your family and other people that you can support. Don't start criticising. Don't start being negative, because that will be the downfall, not the coronavirus. It will be how we react to it. In property, I say to people, networking and the networking events that I create, it's not about delivering you information, and it's not about how you receive that information. It's about creating the environment for people to come and feel safe and welcome and feel comfortable enough to ask questions and get things out of it that they normally wouldn't. And that's not too dissimilar to these sets of circumstances. If you can create environments to help people, then I think that's what we should all focus on. Just while we're talking about the coronavirus, what's my view on the effects of the economy? Yes, the FTSE is way down there. I've personally never seen it down. Will I be taking some advice and making some investments based on that? Yes. Am I going to share that? No, because what I do might not be right, and I don't want anyone following what I do in case I get it wrong. But there is some opportunities off the back of this within the stock market. Is there going to be some opportunities with property? My view is yes. Now, this is a different set of circumstances to the 2008 crisis, which was driven by poor action by bankers and mis-selling and just poor etiquette with regards to banking in general. And the government had to step in and sort that out. This recession potentially that we're going to step into isn't driven by the actions of poor banks or government legislation or underlining Brexit, anything like that. There's a real step change because of an unprecedented threat, which is the coronavirus, and it is going to have an effect on the property market. There is no doubt about that. Now, I've got 4 purchases going through at the moment, and I definitely have taken a view if I want to continue with some of those purchases based on the current availability of workmen, based on the potential downturn in prices, and even things like materials for some of the bespoke stuff that I was going to do. There is going to be an effect on the property market. There is no question. But that doesn't mean that's the end of the property market. It just means that we all need to shift with the market and change how we do things. I've always been a massive believer that you should be like a chameleon. Your colors should change as the market shifts and change. And this is just another shift and change that you just need to ride the wave. Cash will always be king in these types of environments and markets. So cash reserves are going to be something that people should start to consider, whether that's through refinancing or selling. But selling is definitely not going to be the best thing to do at this moment in time, because you're not going to get the best price. But you will release some equity and some cash if you do decide to sell. So there is going to be some effects. I'm going to do another video on the effects on the property market, specifically about all of this and what I believe is going to be the right steps to take and the right actions to maximize returns and minimize losses for any property investor. So that's it from me. Short video, 16 minutes, about the response to Boris Johnson's press conference. Don't criticise, don't give him a hard time. We've all got our opinions. There's always going to be things that he can do better. There's always going to be mistakes that people make. But I, for one, at the moment, believe that he needs our support, and the country and our neighbours will all need a positive and upbeat steer on things. So that's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be speaking to you all very soon on the next video. Thank you.